Okay, counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome, everyone, to this very special session of JV Jams Live. I've got a really good friend and someone I immensely admire for so many reasons. You'll learn more about that as we go through this interview with Erin Dragonsong. Erin Dragonsong is a sought-after speaker, trainer, author, and transformational life coach. As the founder of the Entrepreneurial Magick system and the revolutionary Breakthrough Alchemy technique, Erin Dragonsong specializes in helping heart-centered entrepreneurs, professionals, and executives break through self-sabotage, limitations, and blocks quickly, completely, and permanently so they can achieve greater success, accelerate the results they desire, and create richer, more fulfilling lives. For over 40 years in her quest for perfectly reliable, effective magic and miracle making, Erin has been studying and implementing manifestation success principles and teaching these as practical, doable, transformative techniques to her audience of over 250,000 followers in 185 countries around the world. She's appeared on radio, podcasts, and summits, sharing the stage with world-renowned teachers such as Jack Canfield, Bruce Lipton, Lynn McTaggart, Dr. Sue Morter, Neil Donald Walsh, Mary Morrissey, Dawson Church, and Marcy Shimoff. And Erin is the author of A Natural Connection, Discover Your Totem Animals and How They Can Help You, as well as other self-published books, and as a contributing author in Jesus Through Pagan Eyes, Sea, Sky, and Dreams, and many editions of We Moon, including In the Spirit of We Moon, celebrating 30 years. If you're looking to gain clarity, confidence, and achieve your next level of success while enjoying the highest levels of fulfillment in life, Erin can help you get there, and I know this firsthand. So I want to welcome Erin. Before that, Erin, if you don't mind, I'm going to read a few stats here because this is right into our conversation about,
Sure.
about building that tribe that believes in you, that trusts you, being that authority. For Erin, she's one of the top 1/3 of 1% of websites worldwide, reaching 185 countries. Is top 5% of social media presences by the Cloud Score, over 250,000 followers. And let me tell you, Erin, I don't know how you do it. Like, when I look at the stats overall, there's so many things we'll talk more about in this interview. First off, thank you for being a part of JB Jams Live.
Thanks for having me, Ronnie. I'm thrilled to be here.
You know, when we first met, and we were met in with James Lamb, right, and had this introduction. And I've got to tell you, I was struck by your presence. Like when you speak, every time you were talking about something within our discussions with a number of people, you just came off as an authority. I could already tell right there. I was like, oh, you know what you're talking about, right? You come off. But then when I found out more about your background, I said, okay, now it makes more sense as we're talking about manifestation, success, and so on. Tell me a little more. How did you get involved with the whole manifestation process?
Gosh. Well, I mean, let me ask you this. Who doesn't want a magic wand or a genie or a fairy godmother or something that you can just make all the problems disappear and actually get what you want to happen in life, right? That's essentially what drove me. But I think where I was different from maybe other people is I always believed it was true. You know, I came from a kind of a magical household, not in so many words, but we believed in a lot of things. We had a lot of really interesting experiences happen in my family. And my father had this really amazing ability to say a prayer. I was raised Christian. He would say a prayer and it would come true. And it was a pretty reliable system. It almost always worked. So I grew up knowing that there is a system, it does work. And now I just have to figure out how it is and fine tune it. So see if I can get it to like be 100% reliable each and every time. That's my goal. I'm still on that quest, but it's, you know, I'm getting way closer all the time.
Well, everyone that I talk about you with them knows you as the go-to person, right? You've spoken at so many different events, you've written books, and you've now got systems not just to help individuals, but to help entrepreneurs and people who really want to take things further in their career, right? Even professionals. What do you attribute as your success for garnering so much, should we say, authority, reputation?
It's I just want to say that, first of all, it's not a magical process. It is a magical process. We can actually go at this in two ways, because there's the normal muggle type activities that I've done. And there's also kind of a magical, you might call law of attraction type stuff that I've done. But it has been a process. It takes time. There's a snowball effect that happens. This is the good news, is you get that snowball rolling, and it starts out small, but it can build momentum really, really quickly. And that's pretty much what happened. I mean, when I started, I was like everybody else. I had 3 followers or something, and they were probably my friends from high school. I don't know, but it didn't take that long. It seemed like a long time at the time. But looking back, it really gained momentum really quickly. And that's just a matter of how you approach the whole process.
Well, as you said, you had maybe everyone started out with 3 followers, which is true, but you have 250,000 followers now.
I don't know,
And
what do I do with them all?
tell me more, because everyone's going to want to know, how is it that and yours in a very somewhat narrow niche, right? You've got
Okay.
this group of people that it's not like, oh, this is totally mainstream. We all work in our specific niches and struggle at times, right, to find that and pull. And so our natural inclination is to, okay, I can't do this, so I'm going to go ahead and pull back, and my marketing is going to target a bigger audience. But you've been able to really stay and grow within a particular niche. Was that hard for you to do, or did you just say, I'm just going to stick to it? I mean, what was your mindset going through? Did you ever think maybe I should go bigger?
All the time. But you know what, Ronnie, I'm glad you brought it up, because I never thought of this when I was planning for what I would talk about today, but that's actually a really key point. I had a small niche on purpose. I'm in Canada, so for us, it's a niche. And when I started out, I thought I might, go into the whole spirituality sphere. And I found, that's massive. Even when I started back in 2006, it was massive. And there were really, really big names in there. And I thought, I don't know how I can even, cut my place in that community. So I decided to niche down into something smaller. And I think that was a really big part of why it worked. It would be, if I had just gone for spirituality, I'd probably be lost in the, reams of stuff online. But you find the right niche, a niche that you love, and a niche that it's kind of like, if you can get in front of a parade, if there's something out there that's coming and that people want, and you can put yourself in front of that and deliver to them in the ways that, we're going to talk about in a little bit, man, they will just love you. That's the whole point. We're hungry for people who are giving us what we want, right? You don't have to, this is my thing is, a lot of people talk about social media. They talk about leads and they talk about avatars, and I don't. I talk about people, and I talk about my readers. I don't even call them followers. These are people, right? And I think that's a really important point. And when you don't have to trick people into, being your follower. You give them what they want, and they want to hang with you, right? It's natural. It's organic. It's beautiful.
That was a very interesting point you brought up, because in the social media, we talk about fans and followers, right? And somewhat ego driven, right? Oh, I've got fans. I've got people who follow me. But you said people. You treat them as people. They're real people who aren't fanning over you or following you. It sounds to me like you come at them with a spirit of giving and a spirit of
Absolutely.
helping.
That's really, if I had to narrow it down to a nutshell, like one thing, I think it's that I give them what they care about. I give them what they want to see, what they need to know, what makes them feel good about themselves, what gives them hope, what empowers them and inspires them. If I were to give you that, would you not want to hang out with me?
Right.
It's really simple. If we're giving people what they want, if we're serving and coming from the heart, I think that's a really, really important part. You know, we're coming from integrity, we're coming from our true self, or maybe our best part of our true self, but we're focused not on us and what we're going to get and what we're going to take and how we're going to use these people, right? To me, that's never been part of the equation. I mean, I'd like it to be, it has to be a little bit of the equation. Like, you want to be able to offer them things that are going to serve them and support you. That's a really important part. But when I'm posting, for the most part, I'm thinking, what do these people want to know? What can I offer them? What can I tell them that they might be going through right now and help them through it?
Well, I understand you have some tips and guidance for people who are trying to build that tribe, right? To build that, again, the authority, the respect, and ultimately what we say, the reputation, right? For them, for what they offer for people, and hopefully people will share that with others and promote them. What are some of those best practices that you've learned over how many years? Is it 15 years, 17 years?
2006, you do the math. I can't possibly do it.
I'm thinking
A
2006,
long time, it feels like.
16 years, right? Okay, 16 years. I did my math
Forever on
right.
the internet term.
So, all right. Yeah, please share some of those best practices.
Well, we've just been talking about them, really. I think the things that we've said so far are really big keys. And this is, just so just so everybody listening knows, this grew organically. This grew like a snowball, person to person. I never bought anything on Facebook. That's not entirely true. I tried it once or twice, didn't work anyway. But so it's all organic, and you can do that. Facebook is a little different than when I started. And, you need
Wait,
to
hold
use
up. You said
more.
so no Facebook. I mean, maybe you
No.
tried, but as far as like practical, real results, your 250,000 was grown all organically, no paid advertising.
Yeah, 100%. I can say
Wow.
100% because the ads I did, or the boosted posts or whatever, they got like 0 response. Pretty much, they reached like 100 people. So I
I know
can
they
say,
never worked for
yeah.
me.
So, and if you're, I think if you're doing the kinds of things that we've been talking about so far, that's how that works. If you're not doing those kind of things, that's where you have to kind of bribe people or buy people in. I mean, same with my email list. I had an email list of over 16,000 people, and I never gave anything except the newsletter. I never ran ads. I never gave them a lead magnet. Like, I just gave information. I just gave support. I just gave help and caring, and people want that. So it's really such a simple equation. It just kind of goes against what we're taught in business as entrepreneurs or whatever, that we're out to get. And we focus on getting, and the more we do that, the less will actually come to us, right? Magically and practically in real world terms. So focus on giving and caring. I think that's really important. If you actually care about people, they feel that and they will respond. And I think one way of showing that, just so you know, this is just one little tip for a lot of people. A lot of people don't do this. Talk to your audience one-to-one. I never say, hey, folks, how's it going for all you people out there, right? I'm always like, hi, you. How are you doing? What do you need right now? What's going on for you? And that personal touch makes it a lot, people respond better, I think. So, and the authenticity and integrity, I think I was saying, is really important, especially now, because we can see through so much more than ever before. And that's, getting stronger all the time. I think when somebody's false with us, or they're just like putting on that glad face, like a politician, hi, I love you. I don't want your vote, but I want your vote, right? People see through that. Nobody wants to deal with somebody who's phony. And if you're not being authentic, you're also not attracting your right audience, because you want to work with people who are pretty much, sort of similar to you. They're going to be your tribe. They're going to be who resonates with you. So if you're authentic, that comes across, that attracts the right people to you, and it repels everybody you don't want to work with. So like it's a double bonus.
Well, and I think that term authentic and genuine, right? We hear that a lot. And to your point, I'm not so sure that people understand what that means to be authentic. Because we hear it all the time. It's like, okay, to be authentic. Oh. And authentic, because everyone, unless people are purposely, I'm not saying that I'm just going to say lie after lie after lie, right? That I'm going to talk and I'm just BSing the whole time. I'm like, well, I think, and I'm guilty of this just as many other coaches, because we're taught by so many gurus that we're supposed to act a certain way. Hey, if you want to get people, you say this. If you want to, appeal to a certain audience, you say this, you act this way. Sometimes we even choreograph, right? I mean, I've got classes where you say certain things with your hands, certain movement, my inflection of my voice. You got to make sure you communicate. And it's all designed. And as a performer, I'm a musician, singer, and dancer. So we have a performance. But what I've learned is I've been too much of a performer. Like I didn't. And people will even say to me, Ronnie, you don't have to put on your broadcasting voice, and I'm like, and I don't even realize, like this is a natural conversation. But if I were to go into broadcasting voice, be, hey, Ronnie Tsunami here, don't forget to blah, blah, blah. And I've had to, I still have learning to do this, but to be that authentic, just be wrong. And I'm so used to talking large audiences. And you just told me, wait a minute, this personal touch, I need to focus on that one-on-one conversation piece, really connect rather than trying to appeal to everyone on the internet that might be listening to me. Right.
And you know what, Ronnie, I think if it's okay to say this, you can cut it out if it's not, but even your voice right now is different from what you started with. And it's because as we're talking, your true self is coming out, your heart is starting to show. And I bet you that anybody watching this is starting to resonate more with you now by far than when you first started talking. We feel that it comes across, it's personal, it's intimate in a way, the way we're, just having a conversation, and that draws people in. And the other stuff just is really good. You're putting out putting this into magical terms. You're putting out all this energy. Hey, I'm Ronnie Tsunami, right? Nobody can get close to you. Your energy is a tsunami pushing out, right? Nobody can get close to you. But when you settle and you're centered in yourself, you're calm, you're present, then people go, oh yeah, I like this. I want some of this.
Oh, you just changed my whole world there, Erin.
And there's another piece I want to share, Ronnie, because you made me think when you said, what does it mean to be authentic? I mean, first of all, there are different levels of authenticity. I don't bring all of myself to my work. I don't bring my potty mouth. I have a tendency to potty mouth, especially when I'm stressed. I leave that outside. I know other people don't and whatever, that's fine. But for me, that's not what I want. Right. So I bring a part of myself that I feel is the best part of myself, the part of myself that's in service to these people. That's the part I want to bring. I don't talk about, the fight I just had with my spouse or something, unless I'm putting it in context of why this is helpful to them, why it might matter to them, sort of thing. But there is another level of authenticity. And I just want to tell you this, because it was one of the things, it was one of the things that gave my snowball a big boost down that hill. It was amazing. And I had no intention of doing that. Back, I'm not sure how many years into this process it happened, but my elder sister passed away. And I was pretty wrecked. Like I could not go onto my site, onto my page, and be that hopeful, optimistic, chipper, encouraging person that I want to be for people. I just couldn't do that. I was not in that space. So I I kind of dropped it. I walked away from Facebook and Twitter and everything for like 2 weeks or so. And then I thought, I can't just leave them hanging. I got to get back on. So I went on and I told them, hey, folks, I'm sorry I'm not here, but this is what's happened. And I just don't know what to say right now. I just don't feel like I have something to give right now. And that post got the biggest response by far than anything I'd ever posted. And people responded and they felt it. And they said, I'm going through something, or I've been there. And it just started to spread. The comments were huge. And so I realized, oh, there's, people are actually hungry for that. Somebody to meet them in their pain. So I started, just saying, okay, well, here's my journey. Here's how I'm getting through this. Here's my process as a Wiccan, as a pagan, and as a spiritual and a magical person. Here's how I'm doing this. And that, that whole series was just over the moon in terms of the popularity of it. So that was a level of authenticity that I didn't even think I would bring. But you know what? That was the best thing that I did. Probably, if I narrowed it down to like one thing, that was probably the best game-changing play in my whole, social media career.
Wow. That vulnerability that you're able to share, and people could actually connect through that. And I can see that at such a, I think we're moving more people are being vulnerable, because I see this in TikTok and some other social media where I'm like, but then even that, sometimes you're like, okay, that's fake. Like they stage that, right? It's like, all right, oh, you just happen to have a camera when that person's, when you happen to have that prank going on or something, and you're like, or some weird scenario. So even that's a little fakey
But
for
you
it.
can tell, right?
Yeah,
That's the key, is you can tell when it's real and you can tell when it's fake. And even if
right,
if it just kind of comes across as fake, you don't want to go there, right?
right. I mean, I may
Well,
watch it, but I won't click on a link to follow them. I might watch it for entertainment purposes, because I have found some crazy videos on TikTok that I'm like, oh, I did not know you could do that with Mentos and Coca-Cola and other things.
that's still popular. Amazing.
Now, as you said, within your audience, you've got a very popular website. As like so many views each month, and this is for years that you built this. What do you attribute to the success of that? Was it these, search engine optimization? I mean, is it just the sheer amount of articles? Because how many articles do you have on your website?
That's open to the public. I'm not sure, over 300, maybe over 500. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if you're going to want me to say this out loud, but
Oh, please. It's
I
this is we're totally transparent here.
okay. I
Say it.
attribute a ton of this. Okay, first of all, everything I've said here for social media goes for your website as well. Like, it's popular because I give. It's popular because it's useful to people, right? And it gives them what they want, what they need. And I attribute a ton of my success, honestly, to the company that hosts my website, which is Solo Build It. And I have an affiliate link, but I'm not even going to share it with you because I've actually taken it down. I don't share it with people anymore. But honestly, it lays out the program. It shows you how to do it. And it handles all of the fussiness and tells you what you have to pay attention to, what you don't have to pay attention to, and all the changes that are coming up. It makes things work. And I've had a lot of websites before. I've had a number of websites before this one that did nothing. And then
Right.
I finally said, okay, I'm going to try this. I thought it was a scam. I thought it was too cheap, right? I thought it was too good to be true. But I tried it. And that is what, following their system, because people don't want to follow the system, follow the system. And,
Right.
and then do this give. When there's a magic in giving. It's a magic formula. You can't give without somebody receiving.
Right there.
That's how you build your audience, is people receiving from you.
And a tech guy like me can easily get wrapped up in the technology. And I've worked with everything from WordPress to Wix to GoDaddy to Marketing on Fire to ClickFunnels to Lead Pages and Infusionsoft and a number of different systems. And to your point, when you find a platform that works for you and that you can do and that delivers, it's great, right? And I would also say that it's not necessarily the technology, but the content that's put into it. And it's one of the things I noticed. That's why I mentioned the articles, because the minute you visit your website, there's just a ton of content, right?
It's a little
You have a
overwhelming.
lot of content, and some of it is older content, right? Because you've been publishing content for years. Some of it's newer content, but the fact is, your niche, right? You've got it nailed down to where everything that you say is shareable, right? Where they want to share it too. And so we see this solid content, and we call it content marketing, right? Where you have content that matters to your tribe. But so my question to you is, how do you come up with your content? I mean, do you purposely go, okay, so-and-so wants this because you said you're giving, or maybe you do both, and then maybe you have some content that you're like, this is just flowing out of me, it's my authentic self, and I'm, this is what I want to write about. I mean, how do you choose your content?
Whew. A lot of it is just, I'm not sure how helpful this will be for other people, but if you are your avatar, then you already know what they want to hear. So I share what I care about, and the people who care about that with me show up. For the most part, that's it. Or people write to me and ask me questions, and I go, oh, this is a really good question. This is a really big point. I'm going to do an article on that. That's another way that I get a lot of them. But and also you're right. Like it's not just the technology, it's the system, the process. And that's one of the things that SBI does for me as well. Solo Build It does for me as well, is it helps me identify this is what people are looking for. And I go, okay, do I have something new to say about that? Do I have something different and unique to say about that? That's, I never even thought to mention this because it's so outside of my realm of awareness, but a lot of people just kind of recycle content. They just want to toss out whatever's fast and easy. And I get it, because entrepreneurs, you never have enough time or enough hands, but people are sick of that online. It's all recycled content almost. So when you find someone who gives you something unique and fresh and real, boy, you're going to follow them, right? Over the millions of other people. And now that I think about it, that's probably a big part of it too, is my content is unique. It's copied and stolen and pirated and reposted everywhere, which is not the greatest thing, but it at least shows that it's real content. It's real information.
Right. You're the
Valuable.
one who originated it, right? You're the one that birthed that content.
You give them value. You give them value, the world responds. I really believe that's true.
Tell us a bit more about, I know you've got things that you're doing right now and building and launching. Tell us more about, what are you working on right now? Or what are you launching?
Well, as you were saying in the beginning, I'm working with entrepreneurs, professionals, coaches, healers, anybody who's really wanting to up their game in their professional, in their career. And right now I'm focusing particularly on finances and abundance, because that's where most people seem to be stuck or struggling. But just in general, I want to help people who help other people. I can only get my work out so far. I can only help so many people. But if I'm helping other people who are helping other people, then, there's that snowball for the world. So that's what I'm doing with that. And I'm wanting to help in particular. We're in this fascinating time, Ronnie, where we're coming out of the materialist world and we're moving into an energy world. And it's not just humans, and it's not just our awareness, but literally the whole planet is shifting into more energy and less dense physical matter vibration. So all of those things that used to work, like putting your head down and just bullying through and nose to the grindstone, working harder, working longer, those don't work as well anymore, if at all. I don't know about you, but those don't work. So I'm helping people find the energetic way, what I would call the magical way, tapping into the flow of the universe, tapping into the power of the universe to be able to achieve what you really want to achieve. So that's
No,
what
good
I'm
use.
doing now. I'm really excited about it. I should tell people I have actually a 5-day challenge coming up on August 22nd. So that's about a week from now. Oh, well, no, it'll be a week from now when we're recording, but it's called Mindset Magick Challenge. It's at mindsetmagickchallenge.com, and magic is spelled with a K, MAGICK. And it's, clearing, in this particular case, where I've got it, the subtitle is clearing the number one energy block to your abundance in your career. And in particular, that's about imposter syndrome, self-worth issues, self-doubt, all of that stuff that's holding you back, that's telling the universe, I'm not ready to receive success now, thanks, but check back later. we want to clear that. So the 5-day challenge is the start of that. And then I have some programs that I'm putting together. I've been working with people one-on-one, but now I'm putting together, how do we do this in a group so that we can help each other, in fact.
Well, excellent. I look forward. We'll share those links as well.
Thanks. That'd be awesome.
To your main website and to your challenge. Both of them. Erin, I want to thank you so much for being a part of JV Jams Live and sharing this information, because again, given what you've been able to achieve from a techie standpoint, I'm in awe, right? Even with SBI, and we'll give them props. I'll give them props. SBI has done what a lot of other websites wish they could do for people, right? It's provided a platform that's makes it optimized for search engine, and people are finding you. You've got, how much traffic is it a month again?
It's gone down because of some things going on in my life, but at its peak, it was close to 1 million visitors a month. Like not hits, not views, but visitors, unique visitors a month. And and when I say close, I'm exaggerating. Like, it's in that ballpark, but it was about 800,000.
Okay. If it's in the hundreds of thousands.
Wait, per year. Let me clarify.
Wow.
Yeah, not per month. That put me in a whole other category.
So it's close to 1 million per year.
Yeah.
Visits. Wow. That's crazy.
It's fun. It's fun to, I always say there's a difference between having a web presence or a website and having a web business. And that difference is getting found. Getting found feels really good, because then what you have to share with the world is actually getting out there. That's what it's all about, especially, I think for the future of this planet. I think it's so important that we're all able to do that. And that's why I want to help. But and before we go, Ronnie, too, I'll let you talk. I'll let you say what you were going to say, but I did promise a bit of a magic tip. So I want to get that in.
Please.
This is so simple. It's not even going to seem like magic to most people, but trust me, it's magic. If you can imagine, I don't know, if you have trouble visualizing, just imagine love coming from your heart, through your hands, into whatever you're writing, being received by that other person on the other end of that. I like to do this with a visual cue, which is this pink light. It's actually in my little world, it's this sparkling golden pink light that comes from my heart and just goes out to people. I sometimes just do it too, just send this out to like all of my readers and all of my students and all of my, everybody I have connection with, all of my friends even, but just sending this pink light out to people. You try this sometime when you're having a conflict in a person-to-person relationship with someone, like face-to-face. Try this pink thing. It's amazing what happens. And that generates that connection through the energetic, through the field or whatever you want to call it, with the people who resonate with you. They're gonna feel that love. They're gonna feel warmed and welcomed and held. And they are going to say, yeah, give me more of that.
I love it. I do that when I perform. I actually imagine a light as I'm performing. So
awesome.
It's part of the we call it aloha. So
which means
alo means to share, and ha means breath of life. In Hawaiian, aloha means to joyfully share the breath of life. So every time before I perform, I actually say a little prayer. I'm going to joyfully share the breath of life. And that's what I imagine when I sing. So
Perfect for singing too.
So, Erin, how can people find more about you, or how can they reach out to you?
The best way right now, because I'm entirely engrossed in this 5-day challenge, is to go sign up for the 5-day challenge or reach me through that, which is again, mindsetmagic challenge.com. Magic with the CK. And my website is wiccaspirituality.com. WICCA, wiccaspirituality.com.
Got it. And you're on social media as well, on Facebook,
Yeah.
I assume?
Otherwise, this would be a really funny talk. But yeah, I happen to be on social media. It's funny you bring that up. You can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, although I don't hang out there a lot. Pinterest, I have a little bit going on there. But yeah, mostly Facebook, Twitter.
There you go, guys. Everyone, thank you so much, Erin, for helping people here and sharing that wisdom. And I look forward to continue working with you, Erin.
Thank you so much, Ronnie. It's been such a pleasure.
Take care.
Good luck with your JV jams. And
there you go.
And we're done.
And stop.